When a prejudiced teacher meets a brilliant student who refuses to be defined by her bias. Chapter 1. A New Beginning. At 14, Jordan Mitchell walked into Brightwood Academy, one of the most prestigious schools in the state, ready to prove himself. His mother, Danielle Mitchell, had worked tirelessly as a nurse to move them into this school district, ensuring her son had every opportunity she never did. As he stood before the imposing brick building, its large windows reflecting the morning sun, he repeated the words his mother had told him that morning. "You've got this, baby." The hallways buzzed with students reuniting after the summer break. Jordan moved carefully through the crowd, clutching his new schedule. His first class, Advanced Mathematics with Mrs. Evelyn Carmichael, room 204. He had heard about her, a strict but respected teacher with a reputation for pushing students hard. When he arrived, the classroom was already half full. He took a seat in the second row, close enough to see clearly, but not so close as to stand out. He pulled out his notebook, the fresh pages full of possibility. Mrs. Carmichael entered exactly as the bell rang. She was tall and elegant, her gray hair swept into a bun, her heels clicking with authority. She scanned the room, her gaze pausing for a moment when she saw Jordan. Something flickered across her face, but it was gone in an instant. "Welcome to Advanced Mathematics," she announced, her voice carrying a hint of pride. "You're here because you've shown exceptional aptitude in this subject." However, she paused, her eyes lingering on Jordan and a few other students. "Being selected for this class does not guarantee your success. This is a rigorous course that demands excellence." Jordan sat up a little straighter. He was ready to prove himself. Chapter 2. Subtle signs. From the very first day, Jordan noticed something odd. Every time he raised his hand, Mrs. Carmichael's eyes would skip over him, calling on other students instead. When she distributed the syllabus, she handed his to him without the encouraging smile she had given the others. At lunch, Jordan overheard two seniors discussing her. "She's tough but fair," one of them said. "If you work hard, she'll recognize it." Jordan wanted to believe that, but something in his gut told him it wouldn't be that simple. That evening, when he got home, his mother was preparing for her night shift. She took one look at his face and sat down beside him at the small kitchen table. "Talk to me, baby. How was your first day?" "Most of my teachers seem nice," he admitted. "But my math teacher, Mrs. Carmichael, I don't think she likes me." Danielle's face softened, though her eyes darkened with concern. "Remember what your grandfather always said? Excellence can't be denied forever. Show her what you can do, not with attitude, but with brilliance." Jordan nodded. His mother was right. He wouldn't let anyone define his potential. That night, as his mother left for work, Jordan opened his math textbook and began working ahead. Mathematics had always been his sanctuary. It was logical, fair, right and wrong weren't subjective. Or at least, they shouldn't be. Chapter 3. The first test. A week later, Mrs. Carmichael announced a preliminary assessment to gauge their knowledge. As she passed out the tests, Jordan noticed that she dropped his onto his desk without the same reassuring words she gave the others. He pushed the thought aside and focused. Numbers were his comfort. Equations didn't care about bias. He finished the test quickly, double-checking his work before turning it in. The next day, Mrs. Carmichael handed back the graded tests. Jordan flipped his over. Perfect score. He expected at least some acknowledgement, but instead, Mrs. Carmichael simply moved on as if nothing had happened. After class, Sarah Lynn, one of his classmates, caught up with him. "Hey, I heard you aced the test. Would you mind helping me study sometime?" That last section on complex numbers confused me. Before he could respond, Mrs. Carmichael walked past them and said, "Miss Lynn, I'd recommend finding a more reliable study partner. Some students have ways of achieving scores they don't deserve." The accusation hung in the air like poison. Sarah looked confused. Jordan, however, felt something deeper, a strange sense of clarity. She was trying to make him doubt himself. Instead, he turned to Sarah and said, loud enough for Mrs. Carmichael to hear, "I'd be happy to help. Maybe we could start a study group?" Math is always easier when we learn together. Mrs. Carmichael's expression darkened. Asterisk asterisk chapter 4. Rising above asterisk asterisk Jordan's study group grew from 3 to 10 students within a month. They met in the library after school, tackling complex problems together. Soon, their test scores improved, a fact that didn't go unnoticed by the faculty. But Mrs. Carmichael's hostility only intensified. One afternoon, as Jordan walked past Mr. Leonard Cooper, the school's veteran science teacher, the older man stopped him. "You're in Carmichael's class, aren't you?" Jordan nodded cautiously. "I've noticed things," Mr. Cooper said carefully. "And I want you to know, my door is always open." Jordan felt a swell of gratitude. He wasn't alone. That evening, Jordan told his mother about Mr. Cooper. Her smile was warm. Sometimes, God sends us angels right when we need them. The next day, Jordan received his quiz results. Another perfect score. This time, Mrs. Carmichael's face betrayed something else: frustration. Asterisk asterisk chapter 5. The breaking point asterisk asterisk the semester went on, and Jordan continued to prove himself. But Mrs. Carmichael pushed harder, grading his work unfairly, scrutinizing his every move. Then, it happened. During a lesson on parametric equations, Jordan noticed a mistake in Mrs. Carmichael's work on the board. He hesitated, then raised his hand. She ignored him. He kept his hand up. Finally, she couldn't pretend not to see him. "Yes, Mr. Mitchell." Her voice was tight. "There's an error in step 3, he said carefully. "The derivative should be negative because—" "Enough," she snapped, her voice rising. "I have had enough of your disruptive behavior." The class fell silent. Jordan stood his ground. "I was just trying to help everyone understand." Mrs. Carmichael's face flushed red. "I think you're a fraud. I think you've been cheating all along, and I'm going to prove it." Jordan met her gaze, unshaken. "If I've cheated, test me. Right now, I'll solve anything you want." She didn't respond. Instead, she dismissed class early. Jordan walked straight to Mr. Cooper's office. Asterisk asterisk chapter 6. Fighting smart asterisk asterisk. "We fight smart," Mr. Cooper said, taking out a notepad. "Tell me everything from the beginning. Every grade. Every comment. We're going to document it all." Jordan recounted everything. Mr. Cooper listened intently, nodding as he wrote. "You've handled this with remarkable maturity," he finally said. "But you shouldn't have had to. This stops now." Jordan smiled for the first time in days. It was time to fight back, with excellence. To be continued.